Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Crystal Pack, aka Rumble Pack 92, and if you are watching this, that is because I forgot to record an intro for this video when I was doing the live stream. This is, of course, a reaction to the live stream for the Halo Infinite Tech preview, like live stream show off that 343 did, and so had a couple of my friends up in the chat, which will be on screen that you can see because I'll react to it every now and then, and we just went through 343's presentation of what we're going to see in the Halo Infinite Tech preview this weekend, which, if you're watching this, should be July 29th, the morning of, ideally, which means also if you're watching that means tonight, this Thursday, we're going to be streaming some Halo Infinite as well as often as possible for the rest of the weekend. So if that's something that sounds like fun to you, come hang out with me on twitch.tv/RumblePack92. Of course, like and subscribe and all that fun stuff here. Maybe go check us out while you're here on YouTube on the Waypoint podcast as well. I'll throw a link down there as well to our Microsoft E3 conference, which you can see me shouting about this game even more if that's sort of your thing. Anyway, thanks. I'll get out of your hair. Let's go check this shit out.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight.
Doesn't get any louder than that? Come on now.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Let's fucking go! It's time!
Are you ready?
This was the E3 trailer. I know, because I shouted a whole lot in our Waypoint video for this. I've actually already reacted to this. I love it. There's the grapple hook. This is sexy. Ooh! This I like a lot. You can see the reticle change right there, yeah, which is interesting. And so right here is what I was talking about earlier. He'll switch to the battle rifle, he'll start sprinting, and then start firing immediately out of sprint, just like that. That's really interesting to me. I don't know if that's just a trailer thing, if that's how the game is going to be, because Halo 4 has a very long cooldown out of sprint. And they don't show it here, but we also do know that the grapple hook only has so many uses. And I think they just kind of left it, obviously, for the trailer to show it off. Because I was worried about how they would balance that, especially if you can fucking jack vehicles from people with the grapple. But if it only has like 5 hooks in it or whatever, that's different. God, that's hot. Please haul ass. At your earliest convenience.
Please haul ass at your earliest convenience.
I love it. Get in the fucking car, dog! Get in the fucking car! This is sick, where he takes the fusion coil and lobs it. Look at that armor! Uh-oh. It's offline. It is, in fact, time for you to get into Halo. That's very true. Did it die? At the end. Okay, so it happened for everybody. Oh no! Somebody said we back. Okay. Oh man, we probably missed the dope Combat Evolved sword thing. Shit, we did. All right.
Great to be back. I feel like today has been a long time.
Brian Gerard, baby.
I'm excited to finally kick this off.
Love this guy. Check out that sick jacket.
Live stream, and we are going to dive into this weekend's upcoming Halo Infinite Tech preview. Now, before we get going, just want to give you guys a little bit of context for what we're going to cover today. We're going to have a couple guests rotate through. We're going to dive right into the same exact build that Halo Insiders will get their hands on starting tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
We are live, so all the same known issues that we're aware of in this tech preview that's work in progress are also in this build today. So who knows what's going to happen. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but just ask everyone to bear with us. Also, I've kind of been in my house in the quarantine for about 2 years, if you can't tell. So we might be a little bit rusty, but we're going to have a lot of fun today. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about and show. So to kick things off, I want to introduce Sam Hanshaw, producer on the live team.
Yeah, look at those Halo Reach mouse pads. Those are dope.
It's good to be here. I'm ready to have some fun and introduce our fans to our first tech preview.
So let's sort of start by
Yeah,
setting
boy,
a little
that
bit of
hat is
context.
sick.
And
I like
know
the
folks
green
are
under the
eager
brim.
to see stuff and dive in. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but just let's kind of start.
And
at
the
the
20
highest
the
level.
20-year
We talk about fighting
T-shirt
a lot. We
too,
talk
that's
about
dope.
tech previews a lot. Kind of what do we want our viewers and our insiders to know? Like, what do we mean? Like, what is the context for what this
Hey,
really
the graphic
is?
T-shirt and a blazer. That's
So
a
I
gaming
think that
classic.
Calling it a tech preview.
Can I
that
buy one?
encapsulates
The
that
hat
we're
or
testing
the
out technology.
20-year shirt? Because
We're
I believe
looking
both of
to
those
get
are on
players into
the
games.
the
We're
Xbox
looking
Gear
to
site right
make
now.
Sure that the servers are up
I know they
and
just
running
dropped
as well.
like a whole like
And
summer
we
line
can
of
support
Halo stuff, and
everything
it's
with our
very
servers
cool looking.
infrastructure. Obviously, we also want people to have fun while
Hey,
doing
what's
it.
good, RQ?
And we need to
How you
get
doing, Will?
feedback on the breadth of hardware that we know is out there. You know, we can't test on every combination of hardware that people have for their PCs, but we know that the folks at home can, and so we need your help to do that.
And this is safe to say this will be the biggest scale test that we've been able to do to date. We're talking hundreds of thousands of Halo insiders have been invited to participate this weekend. And obviously, we've been hard at work testing. We've done smaller scale fights to lead up to this point. But like, what does that process look like? Like, what's had to happen to get us to where we are today?
Sure, quite a bit. Been some hurdles along the way for sure. We cut this branch about 2 months ago.
Oh, damn, Connor.
and
Hate to
that's when
see
we
it.
started with a lot of the
I'm so
testing
sorry to
for
hear
it
that.
and kind of targeted bug fixes towards getting a stable product to
The jacket
have out today.
is really, really dope.
for
You
tech
see that the
preview.
hood is like
Now,
buttoned into the collar
It's
as
2 months
well.
old. It's still got some bugs.
So
we
it's a
know
2-month-old
that.
build.
We've got a robust known issues list for folks to be prepared before they dive in. And we expect you to hit some new bugs that we haven't seen. And that's part of what we're excited about, because we need your help to find these bugs, and so we can see how they're reproduced and fix them internally. But yeah, it's been about 2 months of testing, fixing, and play testing to get to this.
And if I really wanted to roll it back even further, it's safe to say that we've been flighting as kind of a process. Which, by the way, for those that aren't familiar, because not everybody uses the same jargon out there, right? When we talk about flighting, it's
Yeah,
really
did you notice the
process of
Halo
putting
2
out
and Halo
kind of
4, like
iterative
the
pre-release
OG
software to a target audience with
OG
some
Master
expected
Chief, and then the
goals to go
4 and
after.
5
We
Chief
put the
helmets in the
build
back.
out,
I like that a lot.
The test, we get the feedback, and we act on that feedback and sort of move
Then
on
you
to
get
the
like
next
the ammo
one. So,
crates and the
safe to say, we've
like
been
the
doing this
ghillie
for quite some
wall
time at
and
a much
everything. Like,
smaller
that's pretty
scale.
cool.
So
I like
this
that
is
a
not
lot.
the first time we've put the game in the hands of civilians, so to speak.
But yeah,
so we've
the
been
the
getting
flighting
feedback
process is
all
something they've been
along.
doing
That's
for
what I wanted
Halo
to bring that point up.
forever.
This
I've
is not-
actually
it's not
been
like
at a
we've just
couple
been
of like the
heads down,
Master
this is our
Chief
first time
flights
sharing our
for
data,
when
if you
they
will.
test
We've
like new
had a
content
small
for
group
upcoming
of,
seasons and stuff, and
various
that's been a lot of
insider
fun.
private
So they're
flights,
essentially
user
just taking
research,
that
so all these
concept,
inputs have
but
been
doing it for a
critical
brand
part of
new game, which is
development,
really
really
cool.
since the beginning, certainly. But now we're opening the floodgates to get all sorts of new perspectives, and I think critically, fresh eyes, brand new perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely. Fresh eyes, fresh hardware, like everything that we could ask for. It's coming from the hundreds of thousands of people who are going to be playing this weekend.
So before we move on, I also just want to comment on, if your Twitter feed's like mine, the invites started rolling out yesterday about 5 p.m. to eligible insiders. It's been kind of a whirlwind of emotions, I'm sure, for many people. Sending out hundreds of thousands of emails, it turns out, takes a lot of time.
Also,
there are people,
Scoot,
as
if
of
you've
an
got
hour or two ago,
Gmail,
I'm seeing
check
are
the
just now
important
receiving
folder.
their
That was
emails.
the
So
only place that it
I think
showed
my
up for
message
me.
to everyone is,
It wasn't in
not
spam,
everyone
it
will
wasn't
get
in my
in
main
this
inbox, it only
particular
showed up in
tech
the
preview
important
this
folder.
flight, and
Maybe
we
it's
knew
there.
that was going to be the case because we need to incrementally grow. We don't want to. We sort of want to walk before we run, right? But I do want to make sure people know that there will be future opportunities, right? This is not the only tech preview that we've planned between now and launch.
That's correct. This is the first and probably the smallest. So as we
Should
grow
have put
and
promotions
over
in
the
my
coming
Gmail.
months,
Yeah,
as we put
I feel
out
like it's
new
hit like
builds with
everywhere.
Additional features.
Sit tight for
They're
the
each
next
gonna
flight.
have a
Damn,
larger
that
and
sucks,
larger
dude.
audience as we head towards launch.
So just really critically, if you want to be a participant in a future tech preview or flight, please head to haloinsider.com. Anyone can opt in at any point. Make sure your profile is completed. We'd love to get more and more people in for future flights, as Sam mentioned. So, Sam, maybe now let's shift gears a little bit. I think one of the really cool and ambitious aspects of this project is kind of the breadth of platforms that we're going to support right now. I mean, not only is our multiplayer experience free to play, but cross-play. I mean, we are really truly going to where our players are, regardless of platform.
Yeah, and this tech preview.
Dude, I'm
is
excited
no
to play it.
exception. We're going to be
I'm
playing
busting.
this tech preview
Busting,
on
Jerry.
all the platforms we intend to ship with at launch. So you're going to be able to play on anything in the Xbox One family, the Series X and Series S, and we're going to be going out to, as I said before, a variety of PC hardware, and all of that's going to be cross-play.
And the PC, by the way, also on Steam, which we know a lot of fans were excited about. I think for the purpose of this tech preview,
Steam,
we're only on Steam for
last
PC, but
generation,
obviously
current
for launch, that
generation,
won't be the only means of
PC,
playing
all
our game.
cross-play. They've
Now,
only made
one
good
thing we did
decisions
wanna
with this
note, I
game
think,
so
Sam,
far.
at
It's
a high
crazy.
level, safe to say that the experience that we're going to put out in this tech preview, specifically on each of these
I told
platforms,
you it was
when
there.
comes to,
I had
like,
a feeling.
fidelity and performance, safe to say that what's in the preview today is not necessarily indicative of our targets when we launch this game.
Yeah, that's correct. So performance is something that we're working on week after week. And as I said before, this is a build that's about 2 months old. So we cut this from main 2 months ago to work on it. And a lot of the performance work that goes in wasn't appropriate to bring over to this branch because performance work can often create instability. We wanted to keep this as stable as possible when we launch it to you all. So this build, about 2 months behind in terms of performance. And obviously there's more runway to go before we launch later this year.
And I would assume the data we get from this tech preview will be really valuable as we continue to sort of make sure we're supporting the widest breadth of PC configurations, for example. And really the team's goal is to deliver a really solid, performant, good-looking experience catered to every platform that we support.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So speaking of that, I
Oh, yeah,
know people
100%.
are eager to see some stuff.
100%.
It's kind of cool, really, if you think about it. Live today,
You're totally right,
we've only
Billy.
ever shown Halo Infinite running on PC. And we're going to do that here live today in a little bit. We're going to show some stuff off. But this is going to be the first time people can see what the game looks like running on an actual Xbox hardware. So prior to this stream, we were able to put together a little bit of gameplay capture. And I'd like to give folks a glimpse at this.
Not
Is going to
great,
be
but
a
I'll
Halo Infinite multiplayer match.
Stick with that.
Recorded, I believe, last week here in the studio. Just to give people a sense of this is the game as it currently stands in this build.
Is that
running
too small
on
for
an
Trevor?
Xbox One. So I'm going to give a shout out to Joshua
too small
here
for
behind
chat?
the scenes. He's running production for the live stream. Josh, if you want to cue that up, I think people are really eager to see some gameplay. Let's take a look. Let's see how this game's looking currently on Xbox One.
Cool. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So these are both guns that I'm unfamiliar with. This is the Pulse Carbine, I believe was in Halo 5, which, funny enough, I haven't played because I never bought an Xbox One. I went full Sony pony for a generation. Because that was where all my friends and family were. So you can see, I like that they're doing like the Valorant / Overwatch kind of thing where enemies are no longer red versus
Sam,
blue,
clearly
instead
we're
they're
looking at
outlined.
A little Slayer match here on Bazaar, one of our new maps. There's a lot to take in, I'm sure, for viewers who are just seeing a lot of stuff for the first time here.
This is
Yeah,
the
I can't
Commando.
remember if we've shown things like the Pulse Carbine being used in the first person. I think it was briefly shown in the multiplayer trailer, and I think this is the first.
Yeah, it
time
just
we've shown
looks
a
tight.
first-person view of someone walking around in Bazaar.
I think it has. We're also right now kind of getting a look at the friend and foe system that we've discussed in some of our blogs in the past. This is kind of moving away from forcing players into red and blue. Allows us to kind of maintain that unique armor customization that's become a greater focal point for Halo.
I'm a
Infinite.
huge fan of that. Did you see him ADS there?
And I think this is a pretty good example of that, and I think you're really seeing those colors pop out.
Hey, there's
on
the AR.
on hardware. It's great.
I think I just noticed a custom skin applied to that AR there that we saw briefly.
I love this, dude. I love this so much.
I do
Let's
love-
go. Look at that AR.
Love the AR skins.
Oh, and that
It's kinda
sidekick
nice
skin.
being able to customize your starting weapon.
That's the name of the new pistol, the
One you're gonna
sidekick.
see most often, so I like to have mine looking sharp.
That thing looks accurate,
Internally, from
dude.
a development and playtest perspective, I mean, obviously we've got the teams focusing on all
Ooh,
platforms and all
back
builds.
smack.
It's safe to say that
I like
we've
that a
got
lot.
Folks
Custom
truly
skins
getting
on guns,
study
yeah,
on
yeah.
Durango, on Xbox Series
Yeah, skins on
X,
guns, skins on
and
armor.
low, medium, and high
Yeah,
efficiency
the
skins as
armor
well.
skins now
So
are going to work similar to
obviously,
like
as I said
Destiny
before, we
shaders to
can't
where
cover every PC
I
spec
forget
out
what they're
there,
calling them, like
but we
wraps
try
or
to
something
have
like
good
that,
range within our
to
test
where
run,
when you
and
get
we
like
have folks
colors
playing
for
on
your
Xbox
thing,
One
it's actually like a
regularly,
full
I try and play test on Xbox
full like
One
top to
as
bottom
much as possible.
armor, like
But
custom
it's a
armor
really
skin.
important thing for us to
And it's
make
free to
sure
play.
it's
Yeah, dude. Again, they've only made good
Yeah, it
decisions
really-
with this game. It's kind of
it really
nuts.
is awesome that we're able to kind of bring that audience forward with us, right? We know there's obviously a large
Hey,
amount of
hello,
Xbox One players
yes.
out there,
Hey.
especially as, you know, frankly,
Have they
some
mentioned
people I think are
anti-cheat?
still
Not
eager
yet, to my
acquire the
knowledge.
console, and with
I'm
some
assuming
of
it's
the
gonna
supply
have
chain
it. Master
issues
Chief does,
that
or
have
the
come
Master Chief
around during
Collection
the
does
pandemic,
has.
not necessarily easy for everyone. So You know, thankfully I'm not.
So
one
it's
of
got
the
those Halo
engineers.
5
I can't imagine
call-outs.
It's necessarily a trivial undertaking to be able to scale so smartly across different hardware.
It's also got the timers for
Gotta say,
weapon
shaping up
respawns like
super,
4 and
super
5. That's
nice,
cool.
And really looking forward to getting some feedback from Xbox One players
Ooh.
after this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's going to wrap up that clip that we have. Now we're going to show a little more gameplay here in a bit.
Okay, oh.
We're going to have Tom French, our multiplayer associate creative director, join us. We have another match from Xbox Series X that we're going to get into. But once this wraps up, we're going to jump back over to the build, and we're going to look.
Love
through
to see the
build
Needler as a
flight
power weapon again.
By the way, I heard you're a real Needler fan. Is that true?
That is true. I love
Yeah,
the
I feel you
Needler.
on that. I can't imagine that they
think
won't
it's one of
have
those
anti-cheat.
unique weapons we have in Halo, and
Master Chief
I
Collection
love
has
every expression
anti-cheat.
of it.
And they're
Hasn't always
taking
been
lots
the
and lots of
most powerful
contests
gun
from
in the
Master
game,
Chief
but
Collection,
it's
such
always
as like
been
weapon
interesting to
skins
use.
and
It feels
like
it
the
shreds
battle
on this
pass
game,
system.
At least in our playtest, right?
Over
Yes,
into-
it's- do not sleep on the
Infinite.
Needler
Needler-
this weekend. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
Neither moves fast,
especially
yeah.
Against bots, like they don't know how to deal with it, so
Yeah, and
it's real good against them.
you mentioned bots. We'll
I feel
talk
that,
about
though,
a
too.
little bit more, a little bit later in the show today when Tom joins us. Why don't we sort of pivot back now to the real build, which I'm sure people are really eager to see. And I thought maybe we just kind of help give our players who are going to be a part of the tech preview, just kind of give them the lay of the land a little bit, show them what they can expect and what that's going to look like. So Josh,
go.
maybe if you want to cut to, we'll go to my feed, I reckon, and we can sort of take a look at our lobby space, I guess. You know, what is the official term for this space that we're going to feed into? Once Josh is able to kind of hit that switch. There we go.
Wow, look at the
So
UI.
this is it, right? This is our tech preview build. We're looking at it right now live.
Yep, this is the essentially the menu that you're gonna hit as soon as.
Yeah, do you get to do
boot
like
up.
the Avengers thing, like
So,
in that game where your
you'll
whole
see,
squad
like,
is on the
multiplayer
menu and you're in a
academy
party?
options there. If you hit start, you can get into our main settings.
Yes, sir. I will, Billy.
There's a few settings I think we wanna
Yeah,
show
let's
off.
take a
and
look.
highlight.
I mean, no, I like settings.
Bro, give me
No
the
one's ever
nitty-gritty.
seen
I
these
wanna-
settings
let
in
me see the
detail before,
settings.
So we'll just
Let's
kinda take
go.
a look here. So
Come on, baby.
we want to make sure, obviously, players understand and like first
Okay,
thing you should
sprint.
do if you're going to be in the tech preview this weekend.
Zoom
probably
left
just kinda
trigger.
get
You see that?
acclimated,
Zoom left
tweak your
trigger.
settings to your liking,
That's
just make
interesting.
sure that things are sort of the way you want
So
them,
right
if you
stick
will.
is
So
melee. That's
I think,
also
you know,
interesting.
I'll just quickly scroll
Equipment
through.
is
I'm
right
not gonna speak
button.
to every one of these. I think we'll be here all afternoon, but
You can hold to
I think you're gonna
zoom.
find a lot
I like
of,
that. Hold to crouch. I
sort
like
of
that.
what
Hold
you'd
to
expect
sprint.
to
Also
find
like
in
that.
some regards, you know, hold to sprint. If I want to do that, I can kind of really dial in my sensitivity and all that. I'm pretty
Sensitivity, I'm
casual,
gonna
so
adjust
I
up to
kinda tend
5
just run
on everything.
default In a lot of cases, I'm not afraid to admit that.
Yeah, I think that I've never
Universal
gotten into
zoom
all
and
the
shoot.
settings
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. They're
settings,
doing
I'm
ADS
just
zoom
worried
for this one.
I would get myself into a state where I would just never land a shot again, or who knows, maybe I would suddenly sort of
Invert flight.
evolve
Hold
to
to
the
zoom. Hold to
next
sprint.
level.
Maintain sprint.
Now,
Auto
keyboard and mouse
clamber.
players, on PC.
I don't know what
also, I
step
believe,
jump is
console
though.
mouse
That's
support,
interesting.
Mouse and keyboard as well. Excuse me. A couple things here they might want to look at. That's pretty interesting. If we can get down to it.
Mouse
is
magnetism,
the
so they'll
fact
have
that,
auto,
you know, triple
like
keybinds.
autocorrect
You
for.
you have a lot of flexibility here in how you want to set up your keys.
Yeah. Will there
I
be
wanna give a
keybinds
shout
for
out, you know,
controller?
all the
That's
work that
my.
happened over the last
I
couple
would
years
love
to
to
update MCC and bring
adjust
out
some
to
of
PC
those
and all the
settings.
fantastic work
I
that the
mostly
Punk
want to put
team, you know,
melee
being
on
able to
right
have
bumper.
triple keybinds was super important to the PC community. That was great feedback that we heard, and that's a good example of just one of taking those learnings and kind of that experience and bringing it over to the Infinite side.
Yeah, I think we owe a great debt to all the work that MCC and the publishing team has done with diving in.
Drop
like,
weapon
feet
button. That's
first
interesting.
into the PC
I do
environment.
not. I actually
Everybody's
have
ready for
my
You know, I'll hover on this one for a minute because I'm pretty sure I haven't been able to do this
custom
before in the game. Have I
Design
actually
Lab
just
Rumble
straight
Pack
up dropped a
controller.
weapon for a teammate before?
Not that I know of.
Using
and
the
honestly,
RP92
it's been quite
colors.
fun to use.
Got it in that
Especially
Rumble
when
Pack
you're
blue,
playing with,
baby.
like, some less experienced players, if you can just secure rockets for them and then hand it over to them.
That's
they get
cool.
to
So you
play
can
around
you
with
can
the power
drop
that they might not
weapons,
normally have got.
like you can give
So,
them. Just
dare we say
that's
maybe this is the
interesting.
end of betraying your teammates to take sniper?
I
Yeah,
will
that
never
would
play
be
mouse
great.
and keyboard in Halo.
Possibly. Cool. So
No,
a whole bunch of
I
stuff
refuse.
here. You
Controller
know, this is
gang.
something else that we I think was mentioned in
There's
one
a
of
mark
our
button, there's a
employee
ping
spotlight
system!
blogs, but marking. This is also
Ping
a
system,
new
ping system.
element to Halo games.
Yeah, and I've actually been really happy with the marking system. So if you're on PC, it is super easy just to mark everyone you see, and the game rewards you for it. You actually get points. You get a mark assist if someone kills someone who you've marked, and stacks with your normal assist points.
I like
I
that.
believe there's a medal you can earn
There is.
for marking enough people who get killed.
More ways
So
to
I'll
communicate, the
just
better.
kinda scroll through here
100%,
quickly so we
Johnny.
don't totally get
100%.
inundated in settings, but it just goes on.
No, I
and
could-
on
I
and
could
on.
listen to
So
settings
let me go
all
into
day
the
long.
video As well.
I saw
Something
thruster.
else
I saw the
kinda
word
wanna
thruster in
point
there.
out, which, by the way, I do not. That is criminal for me to be on a
We'll
FOV
go
when
back and
setting,
watch
but,
that in the VOD.
you know, we heard, I think this has always been something Halo fans have wanted. We know, and everyone knows, the FOV.
If I have
really
time, I
does
do have a
dynamic
waypoint recording
impact
tonight.
on your experience in terms of not only just your vision, but the sensation. of
FOV,
movement,
yeah.
speed,
Master Chief
all those
has
things are greatly
Master
impacted. So
Master Chief Collection
pretty
has
awesome to me
FOV
that
slider.
On day one, we already have a fielded view slider, and this is going to be available on, I think, on multiple platforms. It's not a PC-only feature.
Nice.
That's correct. Yeah.
I mean, what's your preference? I kind of generally like to kick it up here, maybe in the 90 to 100 range. I mean, we can
I
go
actually keep my
all the way
FOVs
up
the
to
same.
120 if we really wanted to.
I roll
Yeah,
default.
think
Am
like
I crazy?
5
Maybe.
to 100.
All right, well, I'll split the difference. We'll go 95 there. But yeah, just kind of go through here. Lots of different nuanced graphical settings to really allow people to custom tailor based on, you know, their own personal preferences, what's most important to them on their PC hardware.
90 is
If I
great.
didn't mention that, it's not
Maybe I'll
clear,
give that a
we are
look.
playing on PC here
I believe
currently,
Master Chief
so,
Collection on console also
you know,
has the
you will
FOV
not
slider.
have
That was
the
a
full
recent
breadth of all
update
these
in the last
options
year or
necessarily on
so.
every platform, but clearly for PC, it makes the most sense. I thought this is pretty cool too, being able to sort of opt in or opt out of something that we call speed lines. So
Oh,
when
that's
you're sprinting
cool.
in the game, we have some cool visual effects that help sort of really convey that sense of increased speed. But if I don't like it, I can just turn it off.
That's
Yeah,
rad.
I think the fact that we've got so many
Actually really
settings
like
that are
that.
tailored so that you can fully immerse yourself. Or
Full
if
screen
you're looking
effects,
for a
I assume, is like the
stripped-down
shield coming
experience,
back
you don't
up
want that,
when it
you can turn it
reactivates, like stuff like
Same
that.
thing goes, of course, lots of audio customization here. Wanna make sure
Subtitles,
people are
subtitle
aware of, like, things like
colors, love
subtitles,
accessibility
and turn those
options,
off
love
and
to
on if
see
you
that.
want to. I did want to call this out as well. I know you and I were talking earlier about
Voice
this,
chat
but
mode, fire team and
just
lobby
a
voice
little
chat,
bit of a
mass
public
voice chat,
service
nice.
announcement for anyone playing this weekend in the tech preview. By default, currently in this build, your mic is just set to full open, full hot. So some people might like that, some people may not. Personally, I was kind of caught by surprise when I was seeing all the stuff in the
Hasn't
game,
it
and I
had
thought it was
proximity
private.
chat since like Halo
So
2?
I just wanted to pass that.
I know 2
my
definitely had
learnings
it.
on to you, so no one gets kind of caught maybe in a precarious situation there. So yeah, a lot of different options here. including
Spartan chatter,
We'll hear
nice.
a little bit more
You
of
can turn that
We'll
off
give
'cause
you
I don't
some
like
more
that.
Footage. And then the last thing I thought would be kind
That's
of
when
cool
the-
to really
like the-
point
the-
out.
the
We
actual,
talked
like,
about this
Spartans
a little bit briefly in some
call
of our
out
blogs,
shit to
but
each other.
we have this new system that we're calling friend and foe, right? Which, in order to
I
really
like this
support
too.
and embrace our goals,
You can change the
and our
colors of the
aspirations
outlines.
about
Just
leaning
like
more
Valorant
into
does, where they
player
have like a
expression and
colorblind
having
mode.
a lot more cool ways to customize your own Spartan and your own Spartan journey. It just didn't really work anymore to force everyone into a default red or blue.
I like that.
Right?
I like that a lot.
Right. And so by default we have red and blue outlines, but for accessibility purposes, we know that various people can't see.
Oh,
in
look at
certain things.
that.
So we've
That's
got
so many
a
more than I
wide
was
array
expecting
of
too.
colors that you can choose for both enemies and friends, and you can also customize the folks in your fire team to be another unique color.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it is really flexible, really
That's
cool.
awesome.
I also personally being able to sort of, if I want to go old school and display a full gamer tag above someone's head, I
Sick,
can do that.
that's
It also
dope.
helps me sometimes when I'm personally just trying to register a friend from foe.
Well,
and
I like
then,
options. Even
you
if I
know,
don't use
I
all
should
these,
call
I
this
like
out.
having
You'll
the
see
option
this
there.
in the
This is
UI
nice.
menu here. The theater will not be included in the tech preview, so we won't have that experience. The theater is coming back though, so and you know, event timeline is a brand new feature. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but you could probably surmise what that might mean in
Oh,
the context
that'll
of
be the timeline
theater.
in theater,
And this
where
is
you can like
pretty
scrub
crazy
the
too,
specific
weapon
parts.
offsets. So people want to be able to move that stuff around, I guess.
Yo, hold up.
I know people who like to get a slightly different gameplay experience based on some old school games where they have the weapon more centered, or some people like to just push it way off, or so far off that they
That's
hit their mic. Sorry about
interesting.
that.
Yeah, I guess, you know, one
Sort
of
of
the
like how
common
in
themes here is
Doom,
just trying to give players
like
as
the
many
guns
options as
the guns right in the
possible to
middle,
really
and so you can
dial in
adjust the offset of
experience
where it
to suit
sits.
Their personal tastes, right?
That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, it is just a set of menus, but I'm really looking forward to hearing what people think of these settings and the things that they can put together to customize it to exactly how they want to be.
This is very
Halo
cool.
to be
Play
like
Halo the way you
something
want to play Halo. I love that.
I like that. All right, so let's back out of the settings. Something else I think we want to point out to participants in the tech previews to keep an eye on this weekend. The news feed. Wow, this is like next-gen news. No, seriously. This is just good to keep an eye on if you're playing in the tech preview. We will probably use this to convey updates over the course of the flight, critical information.
Now, I believe there will be a
If the
battle
playlist
pass,
experience evolves, we'll let people know.
because I see
So
battle
you're
pass
right.
in store
And
in
I
the
think,
news
Sam,
here.
you wanted to specifically call this one
But
out
also
particularly.
nothing is going to
Yeah,
transfer
so we've
over
got,
as well, so just keep that in mind too.
notification for people on PC.
That's fine. I don't
especially if
need
you're
it
using
to.
AMD GPU.
Is it the progression will
make
probably be
sure you
super
update
different
to
in
the
these
latest
fights than
driver.
it is like in the actual game.
Significant performance increase for PC users on AMD GPUs. So
I am not using an
please
AMD.
make sure you do that.
That's
and
okay
make
for
sure you
me.
Check out the news for that kind of attention announcement.
Awesome.
Go over to the
Well,
customize
Sam,
menu.
I think
Go over to
that's all I
customize.
got for you today.
Damn it.
Any final parting words or thoughts before we jump over and dig into some customization?
Yes!
I want to see the customization too. Thanks for having me.
Cool. Thank you, Sam. We'll be right back in just a moment. We're going to be joined by Jerry Hook here, and we're going to talk about all the things you can do to customize your Spartan in the tech preview. Be right back in just a moment.
You guys, I'm loving this so far. This is so sick. They're playing the trailer again. Let's go. We can actually watch the end of it this time. Because Avenge was watching this. She's like, yo, I got to get into Halo. The end of this trailer is so sick. Oh, rah. So, okay. So something I noticed. We'll turn this down for just a minute. Something I noticed was we're talking about how tight it looks, how slick it does. It looks like the movement speed, like the base walking speed, is pretty high. And when they were strafing, it was like they stopped on a dime and would strafe off of it. It looked really, really quick. So I think the sprint is a little slower than it has been in previous games, but the overall movement speed is up, which is really, really cool. There's that instant fire out of sprint, which I didn't see any of in that first gameplay, but maybe we'll see it more later. This looks sick. It's only getting cooler the more I see of it. I swear, dude. It's ridiculous. Rapplejack.
Enemy flag. Return it to base.
I've watched this trailer so many times, and I still have goosebumps, and that's not a joke. I don't know if the camera will even pick them up, but I legitimately have goosebumps. I've watched this maybe 50, 60 times.
The flag is ours.
Sprinting with the flag is interesting too. You notice that?
Call us at
That's
your
not in
earliest
previous games.
convenience.
Ooh! I love the look of the oddball too. The fact that it's on fire in this game is so dope.
Now, show me what you.
Watch this, an old combat evolve tactic. Ah! It's so cool, man. It's so cool. Oh my god, bro. I can't handle it, man. I just can't handle it. Just fuck me up. Show me some customization, baby. I'm so excited. Woo!
And we're back. All right,
Chills.
thanks, everyone. We are back now. This is our Halo Infinite Tech preview live stream.
Oh, they're
here
live.
from
I
Industries
didn't.
in
I thought
Redmond,
this was
Washington.
pre-recorded.
My next guest has just sat down next to me. Please welcome Jerry Hook.
Hey,
Jerry, head of design. Welcome.
this winter's gonna be fabulous, dude.
Great. Really looking forward to this. It's very exciting, and we're doing it live. Like
This is
could
live.
not be.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
More nerve-wracking
Hey,
than
what?
doing it live.
Just, I probably have like 5 people watching. No pressure, no stress.
Not
I
a
mean,
big deal.
it's just between us, right?
Yeah,
We're just playing some Halo, talking about Halo.
Yep.
So Jerry, I think you're going to join us today. We're going to talk a little bit about sort of the player progression, customization side of the game, things that kind of fall under our live team umbrella. Kind of from your perspective through that lens, what are you and the team looking for? What are your kind of high level goals? What does this tech preview mean to you?
Yeah, well, first let's really talk about what a live game means to us. Like we have so much coming into Halo that we've never had before. We're on more platforms.
As if I needed
we're on
another
PC,
reason to stay inside. I know,
we're,
because it's so damn cold out here.
We're free to play for the first time. So that means a lot, and that has a lot of changes that go into the fundamentals. And part of what I do as head of design is help ensure that everyone has their best work show up in the game. And the base fundamentals we use, we have some
like
pillars
that
we're
shirt.
using to help make sure that
The Xbox
our
logo on the
players get
wrist?
the
That's
best experience
sick.
possible. And the first one of those pillars is player first. And you see that primarily represented in some of our attributes, specifically that, hey, look, the time and the money that you're investing in our title are extremely important. They're job
I
for us. That's why you
love
see
that.
us
They're
move
calling
the
it
battle
player
pass,
first is so sick.
to allowing us to have that battle pass be switched, and then players aren't feeling the 100% FOMO to I got to get it now, right?
Battle passes
That's a
don't
player
expire.
first
If you
model.
have
The
multiple,
other
you
player
can
first
choose which
model
one
we're
you
looking
progress.
for
It's
is that
incredible.
Our experiences we want to delight, and we want to have those experiences, grow as we move forward. The delight's pretty key there because we don't want to fall into some of the traps that you see with other free-to-play games where they just add chores or they just add things that aren't really delighting the player, but the player has to get through. And so these mentalities change fundamentally what we're doing from a Halo perspective.
I love everything I'm hearing
Next
about
big
this.
pillar is we want to listen, we want to learn, and we want to experiment with all of you as players. And this is critical. Like Sketch, you're such a critical piece of this, of listening to the community, and it's everyone out there right now is screaming about assassinations and screaming about Sprint and everything else, that all the various community members, they want to have a voice in the hobby that they love. And we're hoping to bring that to you, and working with you and your team, Sketch and Uni, and as well as when you look at Toshing, you look at our esports communities, all of them
Love
have
Tashi.
voices
Love
that we want
Sketch.
to make sure that we can
All of these are
hear
great
and
people.
bring into our experiences. The next pillar off of that is the story doesn't end with Master Chief. The story is actually your story as well, and our story is going to grow even in the multiplayer side. And this is pretty critical when you take a look at what Tom French and the team have done with Academy and all the other stories that they're bringing to
Interesting.
play.
Are we gonna
That's
get something
your
similar to,
story
like, Spartan
in
Ops
our
again?
Universe, and we want to make sure that you have a story that continues with you. And then lastly is just for the team. You see so many stories of game development teams being burned out and burned to a crisp. And we want to make sure that,
Excuse
our
me.
core pillar
Sorry.
of we want to be able to build a sustainable and predictable game for all of you. And that's really, really critical, because if the team isn't there and the team isn't supporting all of the experiences we want to bring to you, then you won't have those.
That would be
experiences.
interesting.
And so we have to do it in a very predictable fashion. The other thing from a
If they do
player-first
Spartan Ops
perspective,
again, I hope they
our
actually
players
make it
should
like
be able to trust us that
interesting
when we say, hey, we're
this
gonna
time.
go
Like, I don't want to
after,
be mean, but
you know,
Spartan
you-
Ops didn't do it. Didn't do it
I've
for
seen,
me.
like the lists on Reddit and whatnot, right? And those lists are huge, right? And we obviously can't solve all of them on day one. In our launch, we're going to launch, and we know that we probably made some mistakes that you're not going to
I like the concept, and some of those
all
missions were
you,
cool, but
and
some of
we're
them
gonna
was a
need
little.
to correct some of those. And some of those you're like, hey, can you make it bigger? We want to go after those as well. So that's all pretty critical. And so in this tech preview, which isn't a beta, is
It's very important.
we're testing the technical side of it. And so
Because people
purchase
I
everything.
guarantee
If you're
people are
in
going to
the
complain that it's not a beta, that you can
technical
only play against
preview,
bots, that it's
just
all these
go
things, is
purchase
when they're
everything.
actually
You need
just trying to
test
test
all of our
specific
services and
things.
connecting with
So
our-
I'm just
our
getting
commerce
ready, like,
engines
mentally for that
and our
blowback
commerce
already.
services.
For people that didn't
And,
listen or pay attention to what
Joaquin
this
and our
actually
service
is.
team are just, man, they're on point. They're amazing, and we just need to make sure that all the technology.
I can't believe
But
we're
we
going
will
to play
have
it
some
tomorrow. Like, I can't. I'm so excited.
And it's definitely not a full customization at all of what'll be in the launch product.
Makes sense.
But that customization is going to help at least help us understand what's important to you.
Yeah.
From the small subset.
I'm with you, Johnny.
You need to play with.
Well, I think we should take a look at some of that. Speaking about my custom Spartans, I did want to just clarify one point. You're talking about spend as much as you can, buy everything.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, everyone invited to this tech preview will be granted a bunch of credits. So we're not asking anyone to spend your real money. So
Yeah.
in
No,
fact,
not at all.
we won't even take your money. There's no way to do that.
Yeah.
So
I
but
like
we're going
that.
to give you our money and ask you to spend it and just go have fun.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
And
That's really fun.
prices
I'm
aren't
excited about that.
None of that is final. We're just trying to get, some semblance of differences. So you. as
Cool. So that
players
means
know what,
there's
what-
probably going to be a
what
lot of
their value
variations in what people's Spartans look like,
let's,
even in this tech
let's go back
preview.
into
That's
the
really
build
cool.
here, Josh. I guess we'll go to my screen, if you will, and I'm going to go into the customize menu here up at the
Damn,
top.
look at that
I
UI.
thought we might just kind of run through a few of these things, and then we'll kind of just navigate through the world of customization as it exists in this build, which, as you already noted, is just a subset of what we can expect to find in the shipping game. So
Arbor Hall,
I think we'll
weapons,
just go down the list here.
vehicle bay,
People are probably
body, and
very eager, I
AI.
assume. They've
Ugh.
never seen this, by the way.
Ugh.
I do like this idle animation. You let it sit, and it just kind of cycles through some really cool.
Yeah, man, you
sort
get
of
to see
3D
these like
assets.
renders.
which is
Yeah,
just,
the
it's nice.
the other cool thing is, like, you just pop into customization. You already know we're doing
I could hear the
lot
music a
more,
little bit,
and,
too.
It's great to hear Sam, and you notice some of the
Chills again.
customization that's going on with
Goosebumps
bots,
again.
and in your own hands with, with your AR. That's all in the game for people to play with.
All right, well, let's start by going in the armor hall, and then we're
Yeah.
just going to kind of quickly move
There's
through
that
here, and
new-
then
what is it
we'll
called?
kind of bounce
Commando?
around like you and I discussed. So armor hall, pretty self-explanatory. This is where I'm going to customize my Spartan's armor, right? So right away, here we go.
Armor
now
core.
for this tech preview, because it's a subset, I'm going to have one armor core, and that's going to be my Mark 7 armor core. And
Okay.
Jerry, you and I have discussed this a little bit. Just there's been a lot of questions, I think, in the community since we first started talking about armor cores, right? And we've demonstrated this and sort of showed it off in our old overview video and some prior blogs. So how would you sort of best describe, like, what is an armor core, and sort of how should we think about that?
Yeah, so this is
That's
one of
good, Risky.
our new systems. So Christopher Blum and Jeremy have done a really great job here creating this system. You know, one of the things when we stepped back in design, we wanted to rethink how do we help make sure that our players are really represented as characters. And when you take a look at Spartan armor, it's like strapping on an F-22, or maybe you want a set of armor that is like an M1 Abrams tank, right? Each one of those vehicles is unique and has a unique character. The other great thing about that, the thing we're trying to build is we're trying to make sure that the character of that armor really comes through. There's really no better way to show this than, hey, Josh, you have one of the pictures, one of the concept pictures? Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I love
So
this one.
Everyone saw at the end of that amazing multiplayer trailer the samurai armor.
Oh,
When
okay.
we
So the
talk
core is
about
the
strapping on a
underneath.
piece of armor as a
And then
unique
look at
character,
this.
I think
You
our
get
first
to-
fracture core, and that's we call these fractures because they're
You get to
they're not
allow-
part of the main canon. They're part of
Or
basically
you get to change
side
like different
universes,
pieces of them.
that you can look at. You can look at how we're trying to develop the character, and our artists have done an amazing job of really trying to represent the breadth of what we want to look at, maintaining the character throughout the entire armor set, and more importantly, allowing that customization.
Sometimes you just gotta let 'em know,
and
Risky.
you as a player saying, "Hey, look, when I strap on that armor, that samurai armor tank, I want to make sure that I can make it mine." And this is the breadth in which we can really express, but stay within the character. We don't want everyone to feel like they're just all one part of a single vehicle, basically. And so then you can look at what the artists have been able to think about, and you take a look at the attachments.
I dropped
that
my
you're
ring and I
seeing
don't know
there.
where it
You're
went. I'll
seeing
find it
swords,
later, I
you're
guess.
seeing, a bandolier, you're seeing grenades, you're seeing different hip pieces, you're seeing daggers, you're seeing darts, you're seeing
Legitimately have no idea where it
whole
went.
different
That's interesting.
expression of what a samurai could look like.
Alright,
and that's
just come back to
that's
that later.
pretty critical for us to help, at least in this first impression.
Samurai
our first
Spartans.
moments
Yeah, that's
for
one of
everyone at
that's one of the
launch.
skins that you can get in the game.
Because
It's
remember, at a live
it's
game
not
perspective,
canon.
We are expecting
They're
everyone
gonna
to
have some
provide
like
feedback, what
some like
works,
fun
what
like
doesn't
cool
work,
skins
what you wanna
that
see more, and
that
that's
don't
where the
like
game
necessarily
will
exist
grow
within like the
moving
canon Halo
Yeah.
universe, and that they're just
This
gonna
is
have some
awesome, by
fun
the
with
way.
it. So
I'm
that's like
super excited by
the first one that
release
they've
of
really
that in
shown off.
particular, which, by the way, we've also confirmed will be one of the first
The
free
hell did
pieces
my
of
ring go?
content that players can earn in Season 1 by just completing a free event, which is
Yeah,
very cool.
absolutely. And again, that type of completion where just playing the game and earning things is still a part of not only our DNA, but again, from a free-to-play game, we want to make sure that we provide multiple avenues, not just the battle pass, but you have different ways, and we'll show that as we go forward. Different ways. in which you can
It's all
earn
good.
things.
Yeah, right now I'm just kind of cycling through the weapon bench just to give
Yeah, get the
give
skins that
our
make you
viewers
go,
a sense
"Oh,
of what that
damn."
looks like.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
if I were to equip
Yeah, this is
weapon coatings, I
gorgeous.
could
Look
check
at
them out
that.
here. I'm just sort of
That's
scrolling
fucking
through, giving
awesome.
people a chance to see some of the weapons
Hydra.
that we have in the game currently.
The hell
that
is
they'll be able
that?
to check out. So I
Yeah,
really
and
love this feature.
This is so
Isn't
sweet
the Hydra
because
like the
every
weird, like,
time you
rocket
pick up a
launcher thing from
weapon,
5?
Right, you take it off the weapon pad. It is your weapon, and it'll be skinned the way you want it to. It'll
Just
look
like
the
a
way you
Master
want it
Chief
to.
collection, when you
It
pick
is-
up a
it is
gun,
just
it
a
has
sweet,
whatever skin that
sweet,
you equipped
feeling.
on
Let's
that
quickly
gun.
jump in the vehicle bay. I mean, one quick caveat here is none of the experiences in this tech preview build will let you drive vehicles this time around.
It'll all be
Of
like
course,
Slayer
vehicles
maps,
are
I
an integral
assume.
part of our sandbox, huge part of the experience.
Not like Big
especially
Team
with
or
the
anything
return
for
of
this
Big
one.
Team battle.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to that a little bit later this year. But I'll just kind of give people a quick glimpse here of some of the updated models, some of these things we're seeing for the first time, I believe.
it
Yeah,
looks
and
sexy.
again,
Look at the
for
Wasp.
What we're showing here from a customization perspective.
I think that was the first time we saw the
you make
mongoose,
this
too.
you. So
There's
you
the
get to
Razorback,
say, hey, look, no, when
baby.
I drive my Warthog or when I get on my Razorback with my team, I'm the driver.
The
I
gun
get into it
goose!
first. It's
Yes!
the way that I want it to look like. And so as you continue to play and you're in the community,
Rocket Hog is
you're
back.
gonna
That's
have
what I like
different
to
looks
see.
from players, and everyone will know.
Is
like,
Gauss Hog
it
back
is
too?
you in the driver's seat.
Never know.
All right, then I'm going to jump down one more real quick here in the body and AI. This one, we obviously have a couple different body types I can choose from.
I like the
I'm
prostheses.
really,
That's really
I
cool.
really love actually the depth that we've been able to go to now for prosthetics, right? Just
Yeah.
an additional layer of customization and, frankly, inclusivity as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the biggest thing is just about, from a philosophy perspective for player first is we want everyone to be able to represent themselves.
So cool.
My sisters actually does build
So,
prosthetics for
so
me.
cool.
And this is very important. Is it's a part of, your identity. It's also, quite frankly, some of it's really cool. And again, we're only showing a very small subset, so don't get lost in that. But the sheer fact that you can do your entire body the way you want to from a prosthetic perspective and really make this your identity is really,
Giving mine a robot
really
hand.
critical for us.
So personal AI is another new addition to the game. We introduced this. People heard some personal AI in the MP trailer, for example.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that became instant fans of Lumu, for example. And I think, we'll talk more about this probably with Tom French in a bit.
Look
and
at
see in action
him!
some of our additional footage. But, this is just a subset. Right? So
Yeah.
there's...
And it's also just the beginning. Like this is the biggest thing. We have so many
They're
things
so
in which you can really express yourself. The way
best
you want
self.
to. And even your AI sidekick, it's yours to express.
Name is
Like it's
Power.
yours to make yours. And I think the cool thing is that when you see Tom talk about it, and you see the modes you're going to use it in, it really becomes a part of the personality that you bring to the field.
Yeah, and each AI here, for example, has their own unique voice, their own unique personality.
Very
It's really
cool.
fun. And then you can go one step further if you want to and actually
Cool.
a subset of colors as well. So
Yeah.
personal AIs are one of my favorite additions to the game currently, and I can't wait for players to experience more of that. And then, we have one more grayed out area here, and this is where I'd be able to do stuff like my service tag and emblem. And, I think you've alluded to, there's more coming than what's in this build, so we want people to stay tuned. Now I think, let's quickly, I want to keep things moving here because I know folks are eager. We got a lot to get through.
Jumping
How
in our
about
roll.
you want to jump over to the Battle Pass?
Yeah, let's do it.
Maybe
damn.
we'll switch.
All right.
Josh, why don't we jump over to Jerry? He'll drive us through. And let's just talk a little bit about, what we're designating the Season 0 Battle Pass and sort of what that's going to be for players in this technical
I'm
preview.
excited. I'm excited to see what
Yeah,
it'll look
so
like.
when we take a look at ourselves learning as a team, the reason why we want to do Season 0 is
Oh, yeah, look at the
like
Spartan in the background. You can
rest of
see,
our
like,
live experience. Our team needs to
shoulder
build the
pads and
muscle
things
of,
on it that was not
listening to
present
the
on the armor
players,
core. So the
of
armor core is going to be the
providing fixes,
underneath look, and I
really
think we
going
can
through
change like
even
helmets and other
veteran,
pieces of them. That's sick.
People who've worked on
I was
games,
curious as to
game
how the core
developers.
system was going to work.
When they go through a service, every game is different, every team is different, and it takes a lot of.
All right, thanks for sticking
muscle
around,
building
Will. I
to
appreciate
really
it.
get into the rhythm for your teams to be able to add to the game. And so, what we hope to hear from on the technical preview side is, again, what's working for you, what's not working for you, what don't you like. Remember, the build is old, so don't treat it as if it's final at all. So as we go into these details, just remember, just send us your feedback. Give us the details that you want to see or improve on. And we won't, again,
Challenges,
because
love
we're
it.
A few months from launch, we won't necessarily
Daily
be able
and
to fix
weeklies, yep.
everything for launch, but we'll start adding lists together. First thing I want to talk about from a Battle Pass perspective is our challenges. Our challenge system is the cornerstone. It is the underlying thing in which we go. Now everyone's familiar with these.
Armor
We've done a little
coatings.
bit
That's what
different.
that's
This
what
is
they
where
call
you
the
start
skins
seeing
for
the first
armors.
rewards that you get outside of the pass.
So you see,
we
it's like
know,
the Destiny
right?
shader thing. You can
Games
see
are a
how
bit
it's
different
like
today
three
than
different
they
colors. You
were,
got the silver, the
back
white,
in
and
the
then
day.
the
In
green.
fact, back in the day, most people only had.
That's how it's going to
2
look.
to
So
3
it'll
games a
actually
year
color
that
your
they even
entire
looked at.
armor, but
Today, I
like
bet you
different
most of
pieces
your
will have
Steam
different colors. It's
libraries
not
are
just the
much
entire
larger
thing
than
red
that.
or the entire thing blue.
And that means players are going from Sea of Thieves, or they're jumping over to Age of Empires, and then they're coming into Halo as well. And we want to make sure that when you sit down, you don't have to absorb an entire battle pass to say, what are my rewards? You can literally just come in, what are the challenges? I'm going to go play my games with my friends, and I'm going to get rewarded for it.
That's cool.
That's
I
pretty
do
critical
like
for
that they
us from a
show
player
the
first
rewards that the
perspective.
challenges give.
And then, of
That's
course,
really
you're
cool.
going to get people like me. I'm going to sometimes get sniper challenges. Now, I'm not Clutch in any way, shape, or form, or Mikwin or any other pro team. I will skip that challenge. So I'll
That's what I'm
definitely
talking
probably
about.
Swap that for
I
sure.
love that.
And I'll want to make sure that I don't have to do that because I'm not good at it.
That's
at
so
all.
cool.
So
I believe
let's look at the
Apex
battle
does that
pass.
too. That's sick.
So we're gonna buy this. Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I assume you have a
granted
limited number of
You're
passes.
just
Yeah.
like a real tech preview
All right, so
participant.
this-
We have given
Way
you
to
some
over
money, Jared.
unlock
All
over
right.
30
Good.
rewards.
I get paid today. Sweet. All right. Sweet.
They purchased the
Got the
battle pass with this
pass.
points. Nice.
We're ready to go. So
Ooh, the aviator
as
helmet.
you can see, oh, I bought it, so now you can't see the free labels. Shoot.
Oh,
well.
yeah. Well, you're right. What we're not seeing is a smattering of objects in this pass are free, right? So
Correct.
even if someone doesn't want to opt into the optional pass in the real game, there will still be a
Nice.
free
There's
track and
XP
things that
boost
will
like in
work.
Call of
the main
Duty.
thing
That's
you think
cool.
of from a model that we have is every
The armor
tier,
coatings,
there's a
I
free
assume that's a
item and
helmet
premium
right
item.
there.
And that means that every
What's that
single
tier 3?
player,
Come on now.
instead of having,
Let's see it.
you know, most systems you have large swaths of the tiers that aren't earned.
Because if
unless you're
that's like the
premium.
new like
For
Mark
us,
7
we
helmet,
want you to
ooh,
earn
sexy.
every step of the way. And for the preview, we're only
Ah,
having
come on
30
now.
level or 20 levels. Sorry, 20 levels in the preview.
Oh, look
to
at
be
that
able to,
helmet. That's dope.
go after. And so, obviously at launch we'll have much larger. We're not going to talk about that too much, but the great thing you're seeing here is you're seeing customization.
Oh, I bet you that third one is
all
a
along the
visor
way.
color.
Do you want to go to yours?
Yeah, we
and
can.
we'll-
Yeah, Josh, you want to jump back over to mine because I had some development sheets enabled, so I've got everything already unlocked. Actually, Josh, switch back over to my feed there. There we go. So now that we have that context, Jerry, of
Yeah.
kind of sort of where this content's going to come from, I'm back in the armor hall. I've just kind of drilled
baby.
now into this. This is what happens if I click in on my core, right? So.
Yeah.
This is. We don't need to go through all this. I know folks are
So you
probably.
can
gonna see
change
some
the
more
helmet
gameplay.
on the
We wanna talk
cores.
about
That was-
bots
I
and
love
arena as
that.
Well, but you know, this is where I would apply my coatings, for example. Some of these coatings.
He's
I'm
got the
gonna earn. We
robot
saw the keystone
arms on
coating
too,
as a
so you
challenge
can't
reward, for
see
example.
like if the,
So
the
this
arms
is
are different colors
just a
or
taste
anything.
of kind of what I'll be able to do. I can't wait to see
Ooh.
how players in the tech preview. I would hope a lot of people are probably going to easily hit tier 20 and max out.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
know,
this
if
is
not,
sexy.
that's our hope.
What are you doing? You've had this long to prepare. Like, come on, you've waited for this.
It
We
should
need
just
you.
be good.
Go crazy. But yes, this is
change
just
the
to give you an
chest, too.
idea.
I like
As
that.
I unlock my content for the core, this is where I'm going to go in and be able to customize that.
Sick.
And I mentioned this to you the other day, but funny fact, someone pointed out to me that if you want to, I think for the first time in a Halo game, you can have no shoulder pads. Which,
Correct.
That's
you know,
cool.
hey, if that's your fancy, go for it. So lots of different options here, and
Yeah, and this is like you're not seeing things in here like armor effects or other categories that we have.
I assume it won't be
listed
everything, but
here.
that's still cool. Oh wow,
So the
even
tech
gloves?
preview,
That's rad.
It's really small, and so we tried to keep it basically the baseline pieces. Actually, let's talk about armor kit for a little bit. That's
yeah. What is
brand new
because this?
concept.
I don't think this
Armor
is really
kit.
So
fully supported.
Kids
in this
contain
build,
unique
though.
items
so
that
when
get
we
applied as a
talk about,
preset combination.
specifically
Interesting.
From a pillar perspective of continuing the story, the armor kit kind of represents a bunch of that story. And so when you see the season, and when we say story, we mean the continuing story of the universe from after you, when you're in campaign as Master Chief, what are the rest of the Spartans doing? You are a Spartan, and so your story belongs here too. But it's also a place in which you can show iconic characters within the Halo universe. And so a kit, for example, you might get, I don't know, George or Emil.
Yo!
And that is an entire kit unto itself.
What?
You actually want to go fly the, do your battles on the battlefield like George, that's where you would go to get that kit.
That's awesome.
Well, Jerry,
That's
this is just
that's
the
a
tip of
really
the
great
iceberg.
idea.
I think there's still a ton of fun content in here for insiders this weekend to experiment with, unlock, explore. I do want to just reiterate as well, we've said this prior, but this is just a test, so nothing that people buy or unlock during this will carry over to the final game. We're going to wipe the slate clean. And as Jerry noted, we're looking for your feedback. We'll have information on Waypoint, by the way, as well as in your flight invitation that lets you know where
I
to
said
go and how to
Waypoint.
give that feedback. And the team wanted me to also just give a shout out and let people know that a lot of polish work is still happening. So everything from how things look and are presented, we're not done yet. So I want to make sure we're giving credit to all the hard work that's still being done and will continue up until launch this holiday. Jerry, any final parting thoughts or words you want to leave to us before we jump over and bring Tom in?
No, I mean, enjoy your time. And, as you said, Sketch, this is a few months old, and we have a long way to go from where we're at actually today and what you're seeing. But please go test every button, play everything so that
Hell
we can
yeah.
make sure that we have the tech ready for you when we launch.
Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks again, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Happy to have you here. We're going to take in one more quick break. We're going to bring in Tom French and the multiplayer team. We're going to talk about some bots. We're going to jump in, do a weapon drill or two, and talk about the Academy. And then
Yes.
we'll take a look at a match that we recorded on Xbox Series X. We'll be back in just a moment.
Very excited to see all of that. I'm going to turn this down for a second. What's jumping out at you guys so far?
Generation built to fight.
Sound off while I figure out where I dropped my fucking ring. Something I'm really liking so far is, one, the way armor cores work. I was really, really curious about that. I like that. I was worried that the armor core was just going to be like skin, so you couldn't change like the pieces of the armor after you equip the cores, but it's almost like an underlayer, and then you change the pieces on top of that. That's really, really cool. I like the... I've already forgotten what they call it, the armor kit, to where it's a cool middle ground between having like a character skin that just like Fortnite does, to where you just look like, you know, LeBron James or Master Chief or something, or Kratos, but instead it's like you could be like, hey, I really like Emil's armor. Here's an armor kit that's all of Emil's. I'm curious if you're able to put on the armor kit and then still change the individual pieces of it. I think that would be really, really interesting. As a non-Haloer, it seems rad, all the quality of life things they're doing, what incentives they provide encourage me to play more. Yeah, that's very, very cool. It feels like quality of life out the ass. Like, it's crazy, all of the little things that they're doing for this game. See customization reminiscent of Reach. Apparently the first season of the game, too, like at launch, is going to be called Heroes of Reach, and so I assume that first battle pass is going to be very Reach forward, if you will, which I think is why they brought up like George and Emil as like specific like armor kits, which is cool. I love that Emil is an armor kit. He's my favorite of the Reach crew, specifically because of that EVA helmet with the skull carved into it. So if that's in this game, I'm absolutely gunning for that. I'm gonna have that on my Spartan for sure. You mean my commando helmet? Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. But yeah, I gotta agree with you, Billy. I mean, just quality of life stuff, just as far as like accessibility and customization there's tons and tons of options. The battle pass never going away. All of like the minutia in terms of what the customization is in terms of like armor and skins and all of that sort of stuff is very, very cool. I don't think we've seen that much customization, or at least like personal character customization in Halo yet.
Welcome back again after
all right, let's see the bots. Let's hear about it. Let's hear about the tutorial mode. I'm excited.
Redmond, Washington. I'm Sketch.
I'm gonna try and talk less over this. I'm so sorry, guys.
Welcome Tom French. Tom, welcome.
I love this dude.
Director for multiplayer. How are you?
It's wonderful to be in this room again. I've missed being in this space, so it's good to kind of just hang out. I kind of want to give you a big hug.
I know, right?
It's wonderful.
It's the closest. This whole process, I haven't come this close to human beings in a long time.
Yeah,
it
it's a
feels
little
like.
weird. It's a little weird.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Thanks,
I feel like
sir.
this has been. I mean, this has literally been years in the making. Safe to say.
Yes, that is very safe to say.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about multiplayer, which is obviously sort of the key focus for the tech preview. So much like I've talked to Sam and Jerry about, thought we might just open up with kind of giving you a chance to, from your perspective and your team, how are you thinking about the tech preview? Kind of what are your goals? What would you like our audience to know from your side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jerry and Sam kind of hit a lot of it on the head. Really, the focus isn't about like kind of fair, balanced arena starts. It's really about a tech preview. We need to get a lot of data. There's a lot of PC data we need to do now that we're not like just
Yeah, I'm with you on that too, Billy.
Single console focus. There's a lot of information we need.
Like
to
the
really
option of
strengthen
being
up our
like,
back end before we
there's
launch
something
this
I don't
thing.
need at the end of this
Really
battle
just
pass. I
make
can just not
everything
do
strong
it
for
and
the
work on
fans
something
and
else is cool.
Yeah, and a lot of work obviously still happening. We've kind of covered that. Now, I think we've got a couple, I think safe to say we have sort of two signature content sort of buckets, features, if you will, of this tech preview, right? We've got an Academy experience, which I think we're going to talk about here first, and then we're going to move on to bots from that. So let's start by the Academy. We teased this a little bit. I think folks learned about it for the first time in our overview video last month. So from your perspective,
I can't stop staring at that T-shirt. I feel like it's looking right at
What's
me.
the idea behind it?
I'm really proud of the Academy concept. Wake, when we started the journey to, what was going to become Halo Infinite, we needed, I don't know if you know this, but when you go to play multiplayer, it's intimidating to a lot of people. And so we needed to kind of create a ramp for how players get there and kind of smooth that out along the way. And so we thought about, like, what are the obstacles that players have to do? And so the Academy is broken into, like, 3 core parts and then kind of a 4th extension to that. But the first part is a tutorial where we teach you the fundamentals of the game. We'll introduce you to the kind of the canon around the MP Spartan and what is the player Spartan's purpose in the greater universe. And then the next step after that, we have weapon
I do
drills,
too,
which
Jody.
is
I feel like,
what we
again,
talked about today, which
it's
is
such a
cool.
focus on
And those are really
accessibility
about kind of
that I
just
really,
giving
really
you a
like,
chance
and
to
just
put your hands
lowers
on a
the
gun in
helps
very
to lower
simple
that skill
settings,
floor
really just
for
kind
new
of
players because Halo's been
monofocus, right?
around
Just
for
really
such a long
focus on how
time.
that gun performs and learn, and there's different skill levels which we'll get to see a little bit. And then the third part is the what we call the training mode, which lets you play arena matches, basically, or arena slayer inside of all of our arena maps. And lets you run around and you can configure the difficulty of the bots, you can configure your loadouts, you can configure, I don't know, there's just a bunch of tuning knobs to let you really kind of soften the experience. And then the next step I would say beyond that is once you kind of get comfortable in there is we have 4v bot matches So we have 4 players. Halo's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
team-centric
I mean,
game,
even
so
the idea of
you
just
want
being
players
able to
learn
jump
how
in
to
and
play
run a
together
quick
kind of
bot
first and
match
foremost, and do that
to
against
warm up
bots
before
where they're
jumping in
gonna
online,
taking
especially
headshots
ranked, I
off
think
the
is
map.
a rad
You
idea.
mentioned weapon drills, which is the sort of the slice of the academy that we're including in the tech preview today. I think we should jump into a weapon drill or two. I'm sure our viewers would love to check that out firsthand. I mean,
So
Tom,
it
if
sounds
you're
like the
willing,
weapon
I
drills
may
might
put
be
you
the
on
only
spot
thing
here.
that's in the tech preview. That's interesting.
See how much I suck
I can
with
embarrass
a bunch of
myself.
guns.
I mean, you know what?
Why don't we trade off?
Why don't we each do it,
All right,
right? So I'm happy to go first, Josh. If you want to jump back over to my POV here, I've already kind of jumped into the academy menu. I'm presented with an option for weapon drills.
Academy
I
weapon
did want
drills,
to point
cool.
out this is not the entirety of our sandbox,
Nope,
right? This
it's
is
what's in the flight,
It's a
basically.
slice, right? So I would expect more weapon drills.
So these are the weapons
you
that are
know,
going to appear in the
I
flight?
think-
Interesting.
I don't know like what fans would be most interested in seeing. I'm gonna guess
AR,
they probably
BR,
don't
Pulse,
need to see
Commando,
an
Sidekick.
AR weapon drill, right? So
Maybe
let's
show
do
them
something a
Rocket
little more
launcher, I
exotic.
saw
Now,
a needler and
this
plasma
is,
pistol.
I might do this because this is
Okay.
my
It's a
one of
rocket
my
launcher.
personal favorite new
Sure.
additions to the game.
Sure.
This thing is a beast.
It is a beast.
It sounds awesome. It feels awesome.
The
And
Commando
real quick,
looks
Tom,
really
how would
cool.
you
I'm
want,
curious as to what kind
viewers
of
to
role
understand
that's
sort of-
going to
I got
play
3 options here
Yep.
for my
with the
weapon
AR and
So
BR
there's 3
already in
tiers
the
of
game.
weapon drills, and the basic one is static bots, and they'll just stand there, kind of just let you get the hands on the gun, right? Shoot the basic targets, and we'll score you on your performance and kind of give you a grade so you understand how well you're using with that gun. The next tier, they're kind of on more just like kind of simple paths or crouching behind cover and things like that to kind of show you how to use the weapon, get you to move to that next tier of how do you track a target across the screen. And then the third tier is more, they actually are doing combat behaviors. They're not firing back at you, but they're running around and they're ducking and they're a lot less predictable. And so they're kind of harder to track. They're kind of using more of the actual bot behaviors and mentality. So
I guess I'll split the difference and go. I'll go like a tier 2 here,
Okay,
right?
okay.
I mean, don't judge.
let's see how you score.
Don't judge.
All right.
There's
I
a lot of
probably
pressure here, and I mean, safe to say, there's been a lot of internal trash talking as well, right?
Yeah, we trash talk a lot, especially about scores. Like, I mean, we're a competitive team at our core, so that's what you have to do.
And speaking of too, I think there is a cool. Not only is this a learning module in a lot of ways, but there is a competitive angle to it, and I think safe
Cool.
to say down the road, the team's thinking about.
It reminds me a lot of the
possibility
firing
things
range from
like
Valorant,
leaderboards and kind of how do we really bring that.
which I think
gamification
any
and
competitive shooter should
element
have
to
something
this.
like
Yeah,
that.
that was something that we
Something
really
to come
wanted
in,
core design, and
learn
just,
more about
get
your
them
weapons,
fit into the
warm
schedule.
up.
So we're just building
this is sick.
this kind of as a platform for how we can add more over time.
Okay, here we go. Not doing good. By the way, that's something our fans noticed right there. We have damage per sort of location-specific.
Yeah, I
visual
saw that.
indicators on damage, right?
Like, look,
Yeah,
you can
it's
see
actually
where
really helpful,
it's
right?
hitting them on the
It really
shield.
helps
That's
you
kind of
pop
that's kind of
fingers.
dope.
Look at that. I choked right there. Now, are you a feather the trigger person with this weapon, or do you just sort of pray and spray?
I'll just be honest. I'm hot garbage with this gun. That's first and foremost my problem. I'm trying to get.
He's
better
not
with
great,
it.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I'm
Although I
trying to
can't
use
judge.
it
I
with
suppose I haven't played it
automatic,
before.
But when I'm kind of at range, I'll switch to kind of the feathering.
Oh,
the
no.
trigger. Oh man, that killer got me.
It's interesting that it blooms, but
That
not
wasn't-
very
that was not a
much.
great
Did you
performance.
notice that?
Terrible.
2-star, I
It
mean-
wasn't terrible.
I think there is a bonus for like a quick reaction, right? Like if I were to quickly zoom in on the target right when it appears, I think I might get an extra.
I
bit of
think there's
points for
extra
that,
little
right?
bonus points and little twists around it. So
All
That's
right.
cool. I
wanna
like-
put
I
you on
like
the
this
spot
idea
now.
a
We're gonna
lot.
switch over to your point of view. So
Okay.
So first of all, okay,
right.
going for the
You should
controller,
go.
right? Because
You
we
should probably pick
support
that up.
mouse and keyboard or controller. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
a controller guy.
Whatever suits
Controller
your fancy. Tom,
gang.
I am hearing from
Controller
our
gang.
friends over here in the room that it sounds like
Sniper,
chat is
nice skewer, Ravager,
unsurprisingly very
interesting. I
interested
don't think
in
I've seen
seeing
that
who
yet.
you are.
I think that's expected.
Oh no, I lied. The
We'll-
Ravager
we'll
was
bring
in
up
the
VR.
original
Let's see how-
E3
I mean,
demo.
I'm okay
I
with
The
did
one that
like
people
where
didn't
you're
like.
going with the more exotic weapons, though. So maybe we just kind of break the rules.
Show me the
and
VR,
see
baby.
the third.
Show me the
Let's
VR,
do
baby.
this.
I want to see the VR.
I'll try to go the third tier so people can see kind of the different behaviors. And so you see there were kind of more bouncing targets in what you were doing. So you'll see this. They should take a little more cover and stuff. But yeah, obviously a fan favorite weapon. I'm really nervous
Correct.
how well I'm going to score. Let's see.
Well,
Okay,
we
so
can
they
pick
did
different
change back
weapons,
to
so we're
the
not really,
classic
we can't
reticle.
really
It was
compare
different
each
in the
other
E3
against
trailer.
each other, right? So
Yeah,
Oh, listen to
people
the
are already making
sound of
fun me
it.
in the stream. I can see it, or imagine at least. I'm really terrible about managing my reloads. I'm like an incessant reloader.
Yep.
See there, I probably shouldn't have reloaded right there.
well, it's when we're missing shots like you and I do, it makes it a little.
You see
harder
how
to be
quickly he
predictable.
turns off
No,
the
I
strafe like
really
that?
feel
Like
it's
it's not.
part
It
of my
doesn't
job
have
to
that
get better at this,
floaty
and
to
I'm
it. It's
trying,
like
and
he
I am
he
getting
goes to
better.
the right and then immediately
I'm
stops. You
getting
can
more better
turn on a
at, like,
dime when
PTBs
strafing.
than
That's
myself.
really interesting.
But you
Look
can see
how
they're
quick.
Kind of dancing around a little bit. They're strafing more. They're not just bouncing.
I think that's the fastest strafe in any Halo game.
hitting headshots at least.
Yeah.
So I think that's how they keep it
almost
fast
got
without
this.
having tons of stuff like the thrusters and that
that's
sort of
pretty
thing.
good score.
And
Well,
again,
the new
kind of
high
hitting like a
score
middle
compared
ground
to whoever
between
else
like
played on this
reach
bill.
and
Nobody,
4.
So all right,
Yeah.
so I hit tier 2, so rank 2,
Or
so,
even
yeah,
like
so you
4
can
and
see, like,
5,
we're trying
like-
to kind of give you some grading so you can understand your skill level and like how you can get better, or you know, a little
It's
bit,
definitely a
like,
little more
kind of
grounded.
encouraging
We're
you
not
to
seeing
get
all
better.
those thruster
You can
packs, like
understand where you're
like super
moving.
fast
All right,
moving
I
and stuff,
think-
but
I think
the
we're getting a
actual
request.
walking
Let's
speed
maybe
is
take at
really,
least
really
one more.
quick.
You wanna
I
play one
cannot
more
wait
since
to
you're already in? Why don't you
see
do it?
I mean,
I'll put you on the
okay.
spot.
Shy
Okay.
Ways
So I'm hearing that there's
breakdown
a lot
of this.
interest in
And if you
the
don't
feedback,
want follow
because,
Shy
I
Way
don't
on
think we've
YouTube,
really
please go
seen or
follow him if
shown
you're
this
interested in like
today,
really,
so
really
it's
deep like
obviously new and
Halo
exciting.
breakdowns.
A little bit unconventional, right? A little bit
Titankill
different.
looks good
it's
too.
different.
Yeah,
mean, it has
I
an
agree with that.
alt-fire, which is cool. It's something that's kind of new to Halo. I know Quinn and his team was really proud of
Looks
that.
solidly
and
like
kind of
3
how we
reach,
introducing
kinda-
this
kinda
concept
TTK.
into the game and how we can use this kind of more in the game. This weapon's really fun, and the two alt modes, or the 2 modes, are basically vertical.
got an
and
alt
horizontal
fire.
I can't remember how this drill performs, so see, one of the things cool about the drills
Yo.
is a lot of they're trying to do behaviors that actually encourage you to use the weapon
Ugh.
correctly. So like these two were bouncing near each other, and so you can get a more optimal like kind of horizontal shot.
Yeah, and I know folks notice it's pretty
It's
nuanced
venting.
there, but I think you're using your left trigger to sort of swap between those two different
Yeah, the two
firing
modes,
right?
okay.
Yep.
That's dope. Okay.
Together, boys.
So rather than
And
a
this will
zoom, it just
penetrate,
turns into
right?
an
So
alt
you
fire.
line guys up and just take them all.
Oh,
Very
the
cool.
last shot sucked. There we go. Oh. I'm
It's-
definitely not managing my reload. I feel like I have more.
you see how it
time
has
in
to,
the
like,
game, because
charge
when
to
you're in a
reload?
match,
That's
it's
really
hide behind
interesting.
cover, but this is definitely
Look at that.
kind of stressful, which is in a good way. Like
It's like a shotgun. It looks like it fills a shotgun roll.
Repetitions in the drills.
Well, the world watching doesn't probably help
Yeah, it
either.
doesn't help.
Because the shotgun is like the only other gun too that you can
We're fine.
interrupt the reload with a
That's
fire
all right.
like
We
that.
ran the ESRB up front. We're
thank you.
good.
Oh, that's
We're good.
good.
We said
I can't help it.
Content may not be
oh, I
suitable
got
for
three.
all audiences. Look at you, man.
Yeah, with a
Everyone's
ricochet,
sitting
kind of
right
like
in
the
us
the,
here.
the, the
Three-star,
scatter
you're a
shot
master.
from
So that's
four,
what we weigh.
and I think 5.
We're not going to go through every weapon.
But much
drill,
more of a
but,
ricochet in
when
this one.
When the tech build goes out tomorrow, the weapon drills will be available right away. So you folks
Yep.
that are in the flight can play to their heart's content all weekend long. We encourage you to do that.
Hell yeah.
I want to see people kind of see if you can beat Tom's score. There you go. Let's throw the gauntlet out.
We'll
Yeah,
we'll be
please,
going
I
we'll
mean,
be going for the
please
3
beat
stars
my
this weekend on each one of those
If you
for
don't,
sure.
I'll be disappointed. So.
So, Tom, obviously, we talk a little bit about bots as it relates to the Academy experience that we just saw here, but bots is kind of the other signature experience as part of the tech preview. So, before we get into the specifics, bots are brand new to Halo. Like, what do you want the world to know about bots? What's cool about them? Why are you excited?
What I also want to know,
I'm really excited about bots because, again, like,
I'll say it later.
playing multiplayer in Halo is a scary thing, and so it gives players we have this kind of notion of safe and being able to play safe and offline in the training mode. And
Okay,
things
this is
like
something
that.
you talked
So,
about already. What I want
having
to know
bots
is, at
to
least during
really
this tech preview,
reflect kind of
which we
player
know that
behaviors
you
is
can
a
only
big
play
goal of
against
ours.
bots,
So
but
actually,
can
our
you
bots
still
don't cheat.
squad up with
I'm really proud of the
teammates?
work our bots
That's
team's
what I
done.
wanna know.
They really are emulating player behaviors. They're doing things like watching the motion tracker. They're listening for footsteps. They'll pre-nade an area as you get into the better bots and things like that. So they actually are kind of reflecting player behaviors back into the game for you to even, if you're a learning player, you can kind of, oh, it did that. That's something I can learn as a tool. But again, really just giving players safe place to experiment and learn and warm up. Like we found out, the community was like, when we first started talking about, they're like, oh, I can warm up before a match and stuff like that. And that was absolutely part of the intent. And we see people
like
who do
that.
it actually internally or watching our pro team do it as well. So.
Yeah, they are. They're no slouches either. I can say. I mean, let's talk about that for a minute. We've mentioned this a little bit in our blog last week, but my understanding is we want to kind of ease people into the experience this weekend, so they'll be able to jump online. And I think it's our second lowest skill level bots to start with, right?
Yeah, we have in the game we'll have 4 different tiers of bots. There's recruit, and then there's marine, there's ODST and Spartan. And we're gonna start with the marine level, which is basically kind of like a silver level player. And then we have
medium.
the ODST, which are more like a gold, and then
Spartan.
is I'm
Platinum.
losing my words right now. But they are obviously the higher difficulty level. But we're trying to get really just they're the plat level player. Duh, I don't know why I'm thinking that. But yeah, so we're trying to just really kind of ramp it up. We want to let players play against the different spots so we can see the different kind of how players perform against them. We know they're not gonna they're not shotsy. They're not gonna just dong on you immediately. Even when we get to our highest level, they really are a warm up and a learning tool inside of the game.
Yeah, and I think my understanding is
About
too
to
that
roll so
we-
hard
we-
on these
we wanna
bots,
get
bro.
Focused testing and data and sort of feedback on each of those sort of bot. You just mentioned the bot sort of skill levels. So if, for example, we get enough engagement and the collective community slays enough bots after we go live on Thursday, my understanding is, okay, cool, you guys have passed phase 1 now, right? So then we're going to kick off and escalate and sort of raise the difficulty up and introduce the ODST bots. So
Cool.
our hope and expectation is that everyone out there is playing so much, we're getting all the data that we need, and we're just going to keep ratcheting it up with the goal of, let's hope by Sunday we've got Spartan bots out there, and we'll really
Sick.
see how some players
like
can step
that.
up to that. And I believe we're also going to kind of gradually introduce maps in a similar fashion. So
Ooh, multiple
the big
maps.
message there,
I actually
think,
wasn't
for
expecting
tech
that.
Preview participants is we need you to play a lot.
I thought
and
it would
come
be the
back every
Bazaar
day
map.
because we're going to try to keep that experience evolving and keep it fresh.
And like that's it.
I also wanted to shout out that we're going to be keeping an eye on our stats on the back end and looking to do a little celebratory shout outs on the Halo Twitter account. So each day we're going to be looking for which player has slayed the most bots, who's won the most games, and also I think kind of interesting, which team has been able to get 50
Time to go
slays
get
and
that
win
Halo
their
shout
game
out.
against bots the fastest. And what's really cool and a twist here, we're going to track all that. We'll shout you out on our social channels, but when this game launches this holiday, we're going to capture your gamer tags now and be able to grant. You'll be the first ever recipients of one of our sort of exclusive emblems, nameplates rather, for the Fire Unicorn, which has been sort of something that we've had throughout Halo 5.
Love that.
ODST as well. So pretty cool. We're able to kind of start that muscle now a little bit.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be
bragging
3. I thought.
rights,
Didn't know
high
that, Johnny.
stakes, slay a lot of bots, play a lot, but don't slouch because these bots mean business, especially by the time we get to Sunday. So Tom, the last thing I kind of wanted to switch into as well, speaking of evolving the experience, we're thinking about possibly turning on some classic Slayer Arena, I believe, as well at the end of the weekend, correct?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the intent is we're going to start with live fire with the map, which is one of our arena maps, and then we'll go into recharge, or we'll add recharge, and then we'll add Bazaar, which is set in Mombasa. Actually, I really want people, especially our fans, to really look around that map. There's some kind of nerdy lore things in there that are super cool. But yeah, then at the end, the intent is at the very end, we can unlock basically a chance to play some 4v4. There's a bug in there right now where sometimes you won't match at 4v4. You can get a 3v4 match.
Let's go.
We should
That's what I'm talking
backfill
about.
Somebody into that match, hopefully, generally within a minute or so. It depends on obviously matchmaking and population.
We're actually gonna get matchmaking in
But
this.
yeah, so it should balance out. Again, it's not going to give you that full fair, like core competitive Halo start, but it will give players at least a first chance at like hands on stick to kind of put sights on another player.
For sure, and I just
Hands on
kind of wanted to
stick, baby, hands
reemphasize,
on
like
stick.
our number one priority is the bot experience.
Getting on
and
the
it's
sticks,
getting
we're gonna
all the
rip
data
it,
that involves
baby!
them. I don't think we mentioned this, but even just from the dedicated server's perspective, a bot match kind of taxes the servers and uses resources differently than a traditional PvP match, right? So it is important to us that we load test that.
Yeah, the bots are actually, they're running on the servers, and so they're actually putting weight on the
Excuse me.
servers. And then it literally, because it's 4v4, 4 players versus 4 bots, you're going to spin up.
Oh, I
servers
see what
and
they're saying.
servers, and so kind of testing scale and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So that was it.
as
That
long
was
as
our
we get these
confirmation.
Gates and sort of checkpoints over the course of each day.
That was
we
4
could
players
have
versus 4
quite
bots.
a bit of fun here at the end of Sunday.
So when they
night.
said
I just wanted to
matchmaking,
reiterate
I
what
think
Tom
they meant
pointed out. We are
matchmaking with
aware
a
the
teammate.
experience does have some rough edges.
Which is
But,
still cool.
as
So
long
okay,
as
so
you're
by the
willing
end
to
of it,
sort
we
of
should
put
be
up
able
with
to
that,
load
we'd
in
love to jump in and be able
with
to
some
have that fun
friends,
with you
with
as
squad
well.
up. That's
Tom,
cool.
I think the last thing that we have,
There
we're
it
gonna
is.
jump into
We
here
were
in a
looking for
minute, is our. We have one more gameplay footage. We have a full match we recorded. Before we do that, though, I have a couple other things I think I just want to rattle off. One, split screen comes up a lot. It's a big part of the Halo multiplayer experience. I did just want to call out that is not supported in the tech preview. It is still something that is important to multiplayer for launch, obviously, but in the tech preview, will not be supported. So I think honestly, I believe you could even split screen in with your buddy on your couch, but then you can't load into the playlist together. So I just wanted to call that out in case folks get stuck in that situation. Something else that I just thought while you're here we could just chat about, I could ask you. Folks started asking this question as we showed off some of our MP content last month, and they're obviously going to sort of get the experience firsthand starting tomorrow, and that's about assassinations. We saw a couple moments in the trailer where we saw some
Are assassinations
fat
gone?
snacks that probably would have been an assassination. Folks have asked us, are they in? Are they out? What's going on with assassinations? So what's the scoop there?
So they're not in for launch, and I think we're just going to be straight about that, right? Like, we
Oh,
actually
wow.
really love assassinations, and I remember
That's
being
interesting.
at an ECS tournament with Quinn Del Hoyo, our sandbox lead, right when I took my gig, and we were watching a match, and somebody went to backsmack somebody, and they had assassinations enabled on accident because they turned them off, right? And they got this amazing assassination. It was a super hype moment in the crowd. But you know what happens at a lot of levels is people just turn them off because you know there's a gameplay disadvantage of it. And so one of the things we really wanted to do is take a step back and how do we think about how do these fit into infinite gameplay loops? And so one of the things that Quinn and I keep talking about is like when we bring them back, we want them to be back and fit right into our sandbox and the loops of the game and bring them back in a way that really
so they're
just
probably
makes
going to shorten them.
so they're always an accessible tool, but also kind of a flourish moment. That people
Shout out to this guy's mullet, by the
so,
way.
you know,
I think
we
the mullet's
talked about
legitimately
this a
coming
lot,
back, and I don't know how to
Marcus,
feel
on the
about that.
beginning. Jerry alluded to kind of what it means to be a live service and those opportunities that it brings. This is a perfect example of something that I know is already on the team's radar, and I can't wait to. It's something to look forward to, and I can't wait to see how bots evolve and eventually. Assassinations
well,
evolve.
bots will evolve.
Bots will evolve too, right? No, you're right. Getting assassinated by a recruit bot would be I think you have to resign at that point if that were to
I think
happen.
we
right?
delete your
Just unplug your controller.
So I think,
uninstall your game.
one more thing we want to show today.
Getting yoinked
you know,
was
I know
infuriating.
people
Yeah,
still
I
been
feel like I could
clamoring
never
for,
get
like, we just wanna
assassinations
see a
because
full
some other
match.
asshole
Just
would
show
just
us the
come and
match
kill them
end to end.
anyway.
So we have that here today. We're going to do that right now.
So like, I like
just to kind of
assassinations a
tee
lot,
this
but I'm not
up,
going to cry that they're
I
not
believe
there.
this
You
was
know what I mean?
recorded last week or so. This is Xbox Series X gameplay, just directly out of the console. These are not bots in play. This is a 4v4 Slayer on Livefire.
Yep.
I think a few members of our pro team mixed in with a couple members of the studio.
Oh,
at
very cool.
large.
So they're not even
You know,
showing
kind of to
bots;
your
they're showing
point,
actual people.
Right now, for this focus,
playing each
this
other.
is not. We're not trying to sort of say telegraph. This is the competitive side of our game.
Exactly.
So this is about social. It's about fun. It's about learning and kind of evolving. So no one should read too much into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is not your BR starts really curated level. This is kind of more the what we call internally like our pub experience or our non-ranked experience, and so this is more of the quick play.
This would be like the quick play social
Well,
games
let's
kind of
roll
thing.
that, Josh, if you got it ready.
Which is great, 'cause
and,
that's what I
you
play
know,
a lot.
Tom, if you want
That's
to
where I like to sit.
kind of provide some commentary
Okay.
along the way. We're not going to try to cast this or anything. I'm sure folks are just eager to soak it in.
I
but
get Bravo to yell at me later if I do
it's
that.
about 7 to 8 minutes, I think, end to end. But this is
I
a
love that.
full match of 4v4
match, let's go.
Slayer, Halo Infinite, in our tech preview, essentially a version of this build.
If this is
on Livefire. So Josh, go
good
ahead and roll
enough,
that
I'm going to do
when you're ready.
another. I'll do a breakout video of this.
All right, yeah, I think this is a pro team.
Where we do like a breakdown. This map looks sick.
Well,
What did they
let's
say
see
this
how
one
good
is
they
called?
are.
Livefire?
Right off the bat, going for
so
the
he's
heat
got
wave.
the heat wave, right?
Yep.
So he switched to vert.
Very cool.
So there's
Steitzer.
Stites. It's good to have Steitzer back, or we call it. There's some nickname of Stitesy is kind of the people implementing the VO.
You see him pick. Okay, so did he just
Yeah, I like that little peek
dr-
technique. I
pick
haven't-
the
I haven't
shield up
personally
from
done
where
it.
it was and then put it
Yeah, I feel
back?
like I learned
Oh
a
no,
lot
it's still
from
up there, so he
watching
got a second one.
videos,
Okay.
actually, on how to play it. Like we watch them. We
Interesting
have
that there were
regular weekly
two.
play tests with them. I don't play with them
Ooh,
generally because they
ooh,
they're
all
so
right.
good, and we put our kind of better
Range is a
players
bit too
up
stressful. Yeah, I don't like to sweat. I just like to go in and have
Also
fun.
noticed that player went straight for the power weapon. That's
Hey, they got rid of
used
kill
on
cams.
Slayer, which is
Either
hard for me to use, if I'm being honest.
there's the
You'll see,
sidekick.
like,
I
when
always
you
love a
use
good
the
Halo
French
pistol.
That's one of the obvious things you're looking at here. I know Sam was talking about it.
I like the
earlier.
reload animation
It's
on
something
it.
that we've continued to kind of iterate and evolve, even beyond this build. I think this might be our main build right now.
There's that
power
Spartan
and
chatter.
there.
Skewer is it's satisfying as heck, but it's hard for me to use.
I am worse at that. gun
Who
than I am
dis?
at
I know, right?
Like,
I
when you hit
know.
the target, like especially a vehicle.
How
it's
you doing,
super
Reagan?
Satisfying. All right, so he was
What the
spectating.
fuck is that emote, yo? The plasma pistol looks so chunky. What the fuck?
Tried for it.
Tried for it.
So did you hear that? That voice was the personal
Hard for us to
AI.
hear in studio, but I believe you'll hear some personal AI coming through.
Yeah, you're hearing. There's a few things. So there's the Spartan chatter that we had in Halo 5. It really just kind of brings the battlefield, gives a lot more like reaction feedback to what's going on in the game. But you'll hear this personal AI, and what we did with them is
So the clamber
replaced what was
clamber
called
distance
Spartan
looks
Leader
pretty
in
high,
there.
which is cool. But that
And
means
they
that
are-
it's
just a
probably
more
got
personal
like
version of that, and they
the
have a lot of
lower you are when
personality,
you
so it lets
activate
kind
it,
of swap
it's
around
probably
and
got a
kind of
longer
customize
animation.
that feedback, and they give you a lot of low level feedback. Pull the power up.
Active camo,
I
so you
was
see it
gonna
pick
mention,
that up,
that's
and then
a
he gets to
different- a
activate
change,
it. That's
right?
so
It doesn't
dope.
activate on pickup anymore. You can hold on to it.
Yeah, we think
So
that'll bring
sick.
a lot in the long term.
Stop
It
switching
allows
off the
to do
pistol. I
more
wanna hear it,
things
I
with
wanna see
power-ups
it.
Than kind of just traditional kind of just quick stats.
Oh yeah,
kind of reflections.
that
I
looks
think
satisfying as
really
hell to
the
shoot.
notion of power equipment in the game.
Reagan, I'm great. Thank you so much.
One
I'm
thing
watching
that we won't see from
a Halo
from
video.
this
This is
point
my
of view.
favorite
I
game
really
series
love
ever.
The visual
I'm
language
having a
that
good time,
you and
man.
the team have introduced. It's very obvious when someone's pocketing a power up like that. You'll see a
Fast
glowing
reload
trail.
animation on that
Contrail
too. I
behind
like
them. Yeah,
that.
That was a big thing, is making sure we at least telegraph that.
A lot of the reload animations are quick,
Making
which
that
I really
switch with
like.
A lot of critical lenses on making sure.
It,
that
it
they're
really
looking
just
for
ups the
readability
speed
for
of the whole
gameplay.
game. There's the
So
ADS
now
on
it's
it.
Sort of that risk
The
reward,
ADS
right?
looks
Do
a
I
lot-
hold this and wait for that final push? Do I
A lot
burn it
less
now
of a
so I don't
zoom than
lose
it than it
Yeah,
did in
you make
5,
a
which
lot
I
of
really
choices,
like
I,
too.
I sometimes will pocket it and think I'm getting cocky, and then I'll lose it, and I'll give like, overshow the dope. I'll give the OS to the enemy, which is super risky at that point.
We're seeing a
This
couple of
looks
little-
great. The UI all
what
looks
is it called?
fantastic.
Tutorial tips popping
It's
up
really,
there?
really
Yeah,
clean,
You can turn off.
which
and
I
stuff.
you can
like.
turn them
It's
off,
it's
but on
not
the- they're
screaming
death
at you
tips,
the whole
we'll call
time.
them. But yeah, giving a little bit of feedback, about the type of weapon that.
I like
kills
that
you,
shield, how you
and
can shoot out
respond
bits of
better
it.
to
The BR sounds great.
I'm not sure at this point the pro team needs to know that, like, hey,
Did you notice him
Yeah,
do like a
exactly.
slide
Or,
jump
like,
there,
just
just
opt out
there?
if you don't
That's
care about
interesting.
it, if you don't need that information, or it makes you feel bad, as some people might feel.
It was like reminded me of like the Call of Duty like slide cancel,
love
but
this
you
one.
jumped out of
Yeah,
it
the Pelicans
instead, which
flying by,
feels
it's
like a little more
homage to
mobile. That
Sergeant
feels like a more
Sergeant
Halo-y kind of
Avery
thing.
Johnson Academy of. So it's kind of cool just to kind of pay homage to one of ours and everybody's favorite character in the side of the Halo camp.
Did the
wait,
ADS
I
slow
thought
down
this
the rate
player
of
is
fire
just
on the
getting-
AR? Did you
getting
notice
active
that?
Camo every spawn. I don't know what the other team's up to right now.
Seems to be watching that call out. Yeah, the power ups we treat those like like the power weapons and stuff. They're up on a pad. They have a lot of messaging and broadcasting about them, so you know.
Oh,
when
were there
it's
spike
coming up.
grenades? Did I miss that?
Spartan AI will tell you that, right?
I guess
Yeah,
that makes
Spartan
sense
AI
with
calls it
the
out as well.
like the
There's a
lore of
lot
the campaign
information
being
from
really
driving
brute focused, but
feedback.
I must have missed that. Oh yeah, there they are.
Stick there.
Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
You can see there's the weapon racks you'll see in the levels as well.
There's the slide again. So it looks pretty short. It's not an Apex slide, but
Yeah,
it,
right
it,
there.
it looks a
Yeah,
little
background.
longer than
Yeah,
like a
what's cool
COD
about them is
slide.
that, before you might run past where a weapon would spawn and then not realize that it's coming up in 2 seconds.
Oh,
and it
Shyway's
can
gonna
change
have
your
a
choice and
field
how you
day
deal
with this
it. Like,
video.
when we
I
played
can't
test
wait
this
for his
morning, I
breakdown.
actually stopped at one point on a weapon rack because I was like, oh, it's like 2 seconds out.
Look at that. I think the ADS slows down the rate of fire on the AR just like it does in like Valorant. Oh, I love that! Look at that slide, baby. Look at that slide. Good melee. Nice.
I do
There's
love
our
the
boy.
sidekick.
It's really cool, and like when somebody's really good
Either
with
sounds
it,
mean.
it's really
Either that or
fun
they're
to
really
play
controlling the
with.
rate of
So
fire. And they might be
really
because
fun
they're
to
pros.
This,
That's
this
a cool
player really
idea.
likes this little like drop wall kind of.
Yeah,
corner
covering a
technique,
post,
huh?
yeah. Kinda locking
This
down
looks
an
so
entryway if you
dope.
watch the back.
I can't wait. Oh my god. I can't believe we get to
It's
try
neat
this
how people
tomorrow,
use,
man.
Like all the different equipments in different ways.
Well, hopefully a lot of players this weekend are going to be lighting us up on social, sharing clips with us, because I can't wait to see just some of the new.
I noticed in the
creative
bottom
ways
right,
that
it might be hard to
the
see on my
community
stream, and I'm sorry for
figures
that,
out
but
how to
he's
use
actually
these
got
items.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. Like
This
I mean,
player
like, the
has
way we
left
have our
trigger map
tuned
to
of our
grenades.
main builds is they have different equipment and stuff on them, and because we don't have the entire sandbox, in the
classic
flights,
Halo.
we swap things out. So it's actually not even the same kind of basically
Whoa.
map placement path that we would have in the released version of the game. But it just at least gives us something so we can get something in there for people to play with.
Yeah, I do appreciate them, even if it is
Match
like starting to get a
gameplay,
little
the
redundant,
music
like how
setting
often
pick
they're
up
stressing,
kind
like
of
it's like,
same
hey,
time
this
that
is
in the
not
match.
final. Literally anything in
I
this
do
could
love
change.
that. The multiplayer music, very cool.
I'm really proud of the multiplayer music. There's
Multiplayer
a cool
music.
story about how we got to basically getting. the
I'm
music
excited to
in
hear
the
that.
game. But it really meets this tone. It's something I've really wanted since Halo 4. Was this kind of post-rock soundtrack to the multiplayer? Well,
Oh,
actually
hell
just
yeah.
Halo, but it became.
I can
one of
hear it
my
a
goals for
little bit.
multiplayer.
I wonder if they'll upload this without commentary, so I can really hear it. And I love post rock too. That's super exciting to have Halo
Yeah.
post rock.
Cool. Halo's got some drama.
It
Oh,
is.
I
There
got
Heck
we go.
yeah,
There
man.
we go.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was actually me playing.
Oh,
That
was you?
my-
Nicely done.
Since we won.
Nicely done. I'm proud.
Hey, so I'm happy that we were able to show that today. Not only kind of our first time showing the game on Xbox Series X, but we know the community's just show us a full match end to end. So happy we're able to do that. You'll be able to see a lot more of that, obviously, firsthand this weekend. And I think safe to say, once we get a little further down and we're ready to talk more about the competitive side and some of the ranked settings, we know people are probably eager to see. I would love to see a true 4v4 pro team match. So
would be brilliant.
we'll bring that later. Tom, any kind of final words or parting thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up today?
I mean, mainly I'm just really excited to finally get to put this game in people's hands. And even though it's just a tech preview, you get to at least touch the game. You get to run around. You get to experiment with the sandbox. You get to help us, be part of our team in a way. And then, just help us kind of keep building towards the next flights as we get to launch.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We're super excited. I'll be playing all weekend as well. We'll be online playing, watching. Just wanted to go through a couple quick things right after this broadcast is over. If you want to head to HaloWaypoint.com, we have an updated blog that'll go out that'll kind of recap
like
the
that.
official play times that we recommend for the flight experience for people who are involved. You can take a close look at some of our known issues and just kind of get a better sense of what you can expect this weekend. Also, just wanted to mention that we're also going to be flighting our next version of Halo Waypoint. So on app and web, we call it Waypoint V Next here internally. That actually will be included in this tech preview. Really cool work happening there to help really extend my in-game experience out beyond the game to web and app. You can sort of experiment with your customization, challenges. That functionality will be working during the flight. Encourage folks to check that out as well. And as a reminder, if you want to be a part of this and an opportunity to play future tech previews and flights of this nature, head to HaloInsider.com, sign up. Please make sure your profile is complete. That includes, we need you to verify your email, and we need you to make sure you pick which platform you want to flight on, one or both. And if it's PC, we also need you to upload a DX-to-AG file. All the information you need and all the steps are clearly outlined. Just go to HaloInsider.com, because next time we're going to go bigger. We need
AR looks
people.
AR looks nice.
Larger scale, because we still have a couple steps to go between now and launch this holiday. And lastly, just want to say thank you.
No, they really they mentioned that they're gonna flight the Waypoint app along with this tech review as well.
Away in this moment as much as we have. The Insider Group in particular, huge part of our MCC project to bring that game, update it, improve it, bring it over to PC. That wouldn't have happened without the Halo Insider feedback and flighting program. And we can't wait to bring that same passion and that same just devotion and desire to make the best game possible to Infinite. So I want to thank you in advance for your time this weekend, being a part of this tech preview. And that's all we got. So share us your clips online. Head to Halo Waypoint for more information. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, this was very, very cool. I am real stoked on this. All right, so let's run this back, yeah? So, I'm so damn excited. Bro, same. I'm really hyped to one, just play it. Like I just want to play it real bad. I'm excited to really to see what the game for Like Return feels like. Like, it looks just really tight, really responsive, really quick. Tight is really like the biggest word I'm thinking of. I'm excited to see how these bots perform. I know that they're going to be on kind of like an easy difficulty, so I'm sure the first couple days might not be the most challenging thing in the world. I'm definitely going to spend some time doing those like weapon challenges as well. I think that's a really, really cool addition. I just like the idea of having bots in the game at all, because they've said that, one, like, if people leave a game, like, they get replaced with bots, which is really, really cool, because I know leavers have been an issue with Halo since Xbox Live started. So and it's just a great way to warm up before jumping on online, especially if you're trying to go do ranked or something like that. Which, I mean, if I'm feeling it, because y'all know I'm gonna be streaming Halo Infinite a lot. I think I might actually do the thing and try and sweat it out a bit and stream like the ranked grind a bit. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since I've tried grinding ranked. I think since Halo 3 was the last time I really focused on playing ranked modes in Halo at all. I am going to get going here in just a minute. I have some Waypoint stuff that I'm recording tonight, so please be on the lookout for that. youtube.com/waypointpodcast. In fact, I'll give you a little preview. Tonight we are recording a Ted Lasso spoiler cast. We're going to be talking about Season 1, and then once Season 2 has wrapped, we'll be talking about Ted Lasso Season 2. And that should be coming out later this week, I think. And then we've got a brand new show that I'm not going to spoil yet that we're recording tomorrow, led by one of our new teammates even. So if you've missed out on that though too, please go check our Twitter. You can we did a whole video showing off the newcomers, and those are really, really cool. I love all of them. I'm so happy to be able to work with them. And we had another meeting last night, and there's some very, very exciting stuff on the way. I'm so happy to and excited to be able to show off some of the stuff that we're sitting on right now. I will be streaming. I'm going to try and stream every day that this tech preview is going, which it starts tomorrow. And then I believe the final day is on Sunday, August 1st. So I'm going to try and at least stream an hour or two at the least each night. We'll really get into that. I'll be playing a ton. It's going to be Halo Infinite all weekend long, baby. I'm so excited. Once they open up, getting people together too, we're definitely going to those that have it, we're definitely going to try and make sure that we can squad up and just have a good time with it. I love y'all so much. It means the world to me that you guys are here and help me support this stupid dream that I've got. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go pee, and then I'm going to go get ready for this Waypoint recording. But I love you guys. I'll see you very soon.